Third day of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Salve Maria, welcome once again to this preparation for Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Today, on our third day, we will continue with the story we have been studying about the history of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. On the first day, we saw how that devotion started in the Old Testament even before Our Lady was born. It's the first devotion to Our Lady. Yesterday, we saw how in a moment of great trial, already in the New Testament, in the 13th century, Our Lady saved the order by a miraculous apparition where she gave her own mantle to Saint Simon Stock. That's the scapular. Well, after that apparition of Our Lady, the order flourished. And in the great moments of trial of Christendom, great saints came from the Carmelite order and helped the church. The first among them, Saint Teresa of Avila, great Saint Teresa of Avila, and together with her, Saint John of the Cross. Great Carmelite saints who, at a moment when so many countries in Europe turned their backs to God and to His church, they were the instruments of God for the Counter-Reformation. And so on, the order flourished, not only with priests or with sisters, but also lay faithful who wanted to receive the promises, the graces that Our Lady gave to us with her scapular. We can't forget, in the 19th century, that great saint, also called Teresa, little Saint Teresa, who opened a new way for the new generations who were unable to live the great ascetic life of the saints of the past. Why? Because the church and the world was already in a mysterious process of auto-demolition. First with the Protestant Revolution. God yes, Jesus yes, the church no. Then with the French Revolution. God yes, Jesus no. We don't really know who God is. Then with the Communist Revolution. God doesn't exist, atheism. And which would later fructify or decay into another revolution, the Sorbonne Revolution, which had as one of its titles, "If God exists, He needs to be killed." Well, this mysterious process of auto-demolition, which is called the Revolution by Professor Plinio Correa de Oliveira, has reached its zenith in our times. But Our Lady came to us in Fatima. The most recent devotion to Our Lady, the devotion to her Immaculate Heart, when Our Lady in Fatima said that the world was in a tremendous process of crisis, and if people didn't convert, things would get worse. There would come a worse war, which was the Second World War. And then, if men still didn't convert, many nations would be annihilated. But she said, in the end, my Immaculate Heart will triumph. And there in Fatima, she appeared as Our Lady of Mount Carmel during the glorious mysteries of the Rosary, as we saw on the first day of our preparation. There we have Our Lady of Mount Carmel, the first devotion of Our Lady of Fatima, the most recent one, in which once again she appears as Our Lady of Mount Carmel. There's a lesson for us. When things appear to be finished, destroyed, when all hope is lost, when evil seems to have triumphed, that's the moment when we need to have more confidence, because the intervention of Our Lady is about to happen. That's the moment when we need to lift our heads high and sing, I believe in God the Father Almighty, creator of heaven and earth, because the triumph of our Lord is approaching. That's the moment when we need to have the certainty that God will triumph. The worse that things appear to be, the greater will be God's triumph, as long as we confide. God perhaps may leave us in situations, as He did with Saint Elijah, as He did with Saint Simon Stock, as He did along the centuries, the millenniums of the history of the church. He may lead us to situations that almost have no solution. That's because He wants to leave it clear that the solution is His intervention by the intercession of Our Lady. That's the lesson we need to engrave in our hearts today, on the last day of our preparation for the feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Tomorrow, we'll pay a little attention to her promises, the great promises of the scapula. Salve Maria.
If you like this video, press the like button and leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos.